everyone, my name is Anjani Malina and I'm from Critical Speech class. Today, I want to share my speech about this house believes that university students should wear uniform. Okay, have you ever seen a student wearing a uniform in college? Yes, I know it's rare. However, there are several educational institutions, especially higher education levels, or in a lecture institution that require students to wear a uniform. Why? Are there any benefits? Let's discuss it. But first, do you know what uniform is? Uniform is a standard set of clothing with the same pattern and model used by a particular group of people or organizations. The use of uniforms has now become worldwide, starting from the military, police, security, militia, to sports clubs, artists, and restaurant officers also use it. Even housewives and school children wear uniforms. Then, what is the history of the use of uniforms in Indonesia? The use of uniforms in Indonesia began to be intensively applied during the Japanese occupation in this country. However, at that time, there was no color scheme for every level of education. The country of Japan, which is full of militarism, brings a high value of discipline to the Indonesian people, including students. After Indonesia succeeded in gaining its independence from the invaders and Japan left this country, the school uniform culture is still being applied today because it has become a habit. And finally, during the reign of President Suharto in 1982, a decree issued by the Directorate General of Primary and Secondary Education was issued containing the use of school uniforms for students. To be precise, on March 17, 1982. The decree not only contains the uniformity of school clothes, but also regulates the color patterns that apply to each school level in Indonesia as worn by Indonesian school students today. It is said that the rules for the use of school uniforms were actually made to cover the social gap between students. The originator of the idea of color schemes and rules for the use of school uniforms was Idik Sulaiman, who at that time served as Director of Student Development at the Directorate General of Primary and Secondary Education for the period 1979 to 1983. Idik, who is an alumnus of the Bandung Institute of Technology's Fine Arts Education, is also the maker of the OSIS and Paskibraka symbols. Determining the color of the school uniform is not without meaning. For elementary school students, the white hem uniform with the red bottom symbolizes energy and courage for students to learn. Meanwhile, the blue color on the junior high school uniform symbolizes communication and self-confidence because at that time, junior high school students are in a period of developing self-confidence. And the gray color on the high school students' uniform shows maturity and serenity. However, this uniform usage rule is only for elementary students, middle school students, and high school students. Then, why this house believes that university students should wearing uniforms in college? There are several reasons why we want university students to wear uniforms in college. We want university students to wear uniforms in college because to avoid the caste system of social class, to build a culture of discipline, and to make it easier for university students to socialize with each other. So first is the student can avoid the existence of a social class caste system among university students. The use of uniforms can avoid the existence of a social class caste system among university students. If university students are free to wear the clothes they want, of course, it can lead to social inequality. Students who come from rich family will feel very happy because they have lots of clothes that they can wear when they go to college. In contrast to students who come from poor families, of course, they will feel ashamed because their clothes do not change. In other words, they had very few clothes to wear in college. Second, we can build a culture of discipline by wearing uniforms in college. With the implementation of the use of uniforms in the campus area, of course, the campus can monitor students' discipline. In the end, students' mental discipline will be formed. For example, when the university has a uniform usage rule every day. On Mondays, the university requires students to wear white tops and black bottoms, pants for men and skirt for women. However, Sita, of course she's a girl, wears black pants to campus even though she should be wearing skirt. It's just because she doesn't like wearing skirt. From there, it can be seen that Sita lacks of discipline because she doesn't obey the rules. And the last is the use of uniforms can make it easier for students to socialize with fellow students because it's easy to recognize their identities. The university has thousands of students, which is definitely difficult to recognize their identities, especially if they come from different faculties. If a university has a uniform wearing policy, it will definitely be easier for them to recognize other students. If a university has a color differentiated uniform use rule or something else in each faculty. For example, A faculty has a blue uniform, B faculty has a yellow uniform, and C faculty has a red uniform. If you is a student from B faculty and then she meets someone wearing a red uniform, she will immediately know that the person she met is from C faculty. Thus, we have to consider that university should be wearing uniform in college. I think that's all for me. Thank you for your attention. I'll see you next time.